The Rock has been, well, electric. I know some people might think that the promos on SmackDown are just kind of like spinning its wheels a little bit. They're not really going into like a hard direction. There are some critiques when it comes to The Rock's involvement at WrestleMania and the Cody Roman story and finishing the story and everything. But the combination of The Rock showing up at SmackDown like every single week leading up to WrestleMania and the promos that he has been doing just on social media, going off on Cody Rhodes, going off on his family, going off against his mama. I love it. I love what heel Rock has been doing. And it's been such an interesting thing to watch Rock's progression so quickly and how everything shifted from what we got at that press conference event where it did really size up the tag team match and they teased it. It really felt like they were going to go into a direction of corporate Rock being board of directors Rock, and we got some of that, but we also got the blend of Hollywood Rock into this brand new heel persona of The Rock, and I love it. Because when we watched him this past year and in 2023, when he would show up periodically and he would just do his thing in the ring where he'd chant with the crowd and you'd get a rock bottom, a spine buster, people's elbow, it was fine and it's fun and it's a pop for the live crowd. Now with heel Rock, to me, it's must watch, must see. What's he gonna do? And also all of the little intricacies and moments and looks that they give with the bloodline, Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns' reaction to The Rock in the ring. That Roman wanted him weeks ago to acknowledge him, and he does, but it was kind of reluctant. There are layers to all of this. So, I wanna talk about the main event, one of the main events of WrestleMania 40. The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, and how I think this is gonna go, because these are my early predictions for WrestleMania 40's main event. Ultimately, I think that night 2 ends with Cody Rhodes holding up the Undisputed Championship, defeating Roman Reigns. But over the course of that weekend, I don't think Cody Rhodes is going to be winning. And I don't think Seth Rollins is retaining either. Night 2 of WrestleMania is going to feature Drew versus Seth for the World Heavyweight Championship and Cody versus Roman for the Undisputed Championship. And I think that they really need to play in a ton of doubt into this to basically get Cody to the end game of defeating Roman Reigns. So the tag team match, the main event of night 1 at WrestleMania, I think is going to be monumental, massive. And the stipulation in there is that if Seth and Cody somehow win and beat Rock and Roman, then Cody goes on to night 2 with no bloodline interference, period. It's a straight up one-on-one match. And it would seem kind of obvious or almost predictable if like, well, let's just do that. They somehow beat The Rock, they beat Roman Reigns, and then it's just a clear sailing way all the way to night 2 of WrestleMania, and Cody finishes the story. I don't think they do that. I think they really need to cement doubt and show that Cody is struggling through this entire thing. Because the night 1 main event is so huge, you have all these champions, legends, everyone involved in this thing. The only thing that's missing is like Stone Cold Steve Austin, a special guest referee, but you never know. That tag team match, I think it does end with The Rock probably giving a rock bottom and pinning Cody Rhodes in the ring. Either Cody's eating that pin or Seth is eating that pin. Cody hasn't taken any pins, like at all. Like he's beaten Brock Lesnar and he's beaten everybody, and they haven't had him really lose at all in the last almost 2 years. But I do think you need The Rock to beat Cody because there's going to be a reason for all of this. So if Rock pins Cody, you automatically get all the doubt going into night 2, which is kind of what you want. You want the drama of it all. And you end night 1 with the bloodline standing strong, The Rock as the centerpiece standing strong amongst the rest of the family and his tribe. And you could also do it if Rock is the one who makes the pin and gets the win, you have Rock almost as center stage. But then you have Roman playing almost the background character in this tag match and the victory, even though he's the champion. And that is also part of all of this too that's very intriguing, is that every week, The Rock feels like center stage main event legend, the main focus of all of this. And it feels like it's his story and Cody, and less of Cody and Roman. Roman feels very secondary. They finally heated Seth up, and now it feels like Seth, Rock, and Cody are more important, and Roman is kind of like the last one in line to all of this. Roman kind of stands in the ring and chuckles and laughs things off and just kind of chills. And that could be all interesting for the story if it's all on purpose, because The Rock is really being at the forefront of all this, and Roman really does feel like he's been taking a back seat and laying into being the background character to all of this. So if The Rock wins the match, the tag match, gets the win, you put in that little bit of seed into this whole story of Rock versus Roman, which we would probably get to, I think, WrestleMania 41. And the tag match can help plant those seeds to get them there in a year from now. So you have The Rock win. Fireworks, everything. It's a huge showcase. The Rock goes on Instagram and Twitter the next day and just talks about how he won. And the Bloodline is winning. And then that means it's going to be Bloodline rules for night 2 main event, which is more intriguing than a straight up one-on-one match. With Bloodline rules, it just anything goes. All of the Bloodline gets involved, but that can also mean that people can come to help Cody. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, they can all come in and try to help Cody Rhodes. You could even get CM Punk if you want to do that. You could get Stone Cold Steve Austin, like I said. Like, you could just do anything you want in Bloodline rules to make it just a big schmoz if they want to, as this colossal main event of main events. But before that happens, you've got Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, night 2. So if that is gonna like open up night 2 of WrestleMania, you need Seth, in my opinion, broken, beaten down from the tag match. That's where if you had The Rock pin Seth and they absolutely destroy both Cody and Seth, they gotta walk into night 2 and they're gonna walk in beaten and battered and broken down. And that's where Drew McIntyre could come in. You can tell a very cool story of Drew McIntyre picking up the scraps and the pieces and just claymoring Seth Rollins and beating him fairly easily, because Drew has not been able to beat Seth at all. He's always come up short. He's been distracted. He can't pull it off. If you have Seth coming in, rib tape, bandaged up for night 2 in his world title match, Drew, I think, needs to get in there and just dummy him. Not like an 18-second thing, but a true dominant win over him and hold up the world heavyweight title. Then you can get, in my opinion, get Seth off of TV for a couple of months, because Seth is recovering from injuries, and frankly, I think his character needs a refresh. I have seen Seth Rollins everywhere. I've seen everything he can do, and after WrestleMania, assuming he is not champion, and even if he is, I'm kind of not that interested in what that story is unless it's CM Punk. And we do a whole other video on Punk and what to do after WrestleMania with Drew and Seth and all of that. So I think Seth's got to lose. You got the potential of a cash in there, but there is every single week on Raw, Drew McIntyre is leaning into favoring the Bloodline. He's almost kind of like a mercenary with the Bloodline. And The Rock has made those comments to Seth of like, I will take that title from you. They could end up doing that by having Seth eat the pin at WrestleMania, and Drew walks in and does in fact take that title from Seth. And Drew can walk around saying the Bloodline was right, they're on different brands. Not that Drew's gonna join the Bloodline, but that he kind of owes it to them in a way. And then you have Drew as this cocky, arrogant, troll-like heel with the title, and he can go off and defend it on Monday Night Raw. And then, like I said, I think you need Seth to go away for a few months so that we can miss him, build him back up, and start the program maybe in the summertime. So then you got night 2 WrestleMania, the main event, the tag team match, Bloodline rules. That's my prediction. And I think if we do get there, I think you put the seeds of doubt in Roman Reigns almost, week after week after week, building to this, going through the tag team match, Rock getting the win, not Roman, Roman feeling slighted and secondary, same with Paul Heyman. So they go into this, yes, victorious on night 1, feeling good and feeling strong that Cody's beaten down, but Roman's probably a little bit weaker too. And then you should have The Rock out there, Solo, Jimmy, Paul Heyman, Bloodline family all around them too. Not like ringside, but just sitting in the audience and pan to them in the crowd. And with all of that, I think you could either make it like a really overbooked mess where you do have run-ins for both representing The Rock, the Bloodline, and representing Cody, or you end up with like Cody being kind of dominated. It doesn't make much sense though if Cody just gets his butt whooped and the Bloodline interfere and nobody else from the locker room helps Cody, because the past 2 years has been all about the Bloodline from so many people. So I think it can actually be that crescendo moment where you will see kind of the faces of the past. They try to play this up in terms of the dialogue and the positioning of this with Seth and Cody acting like it's the Avengers versus Thanos. Thanos being The Rock. and they are Captain America and Iron Man. That's the analogy I always take from this, watching them and hearing them talk about all of this. And so they need the rest of the Avengers. So what do? I think during the match, yes, you get all the bloodline involved, but we also have that other match happening confirmed. Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso, brother versus brother at WrestleMania. However that match is going to go down, and we'll talk about that in a future video. But it's where it can all culminate in that final main event sequence. The bloodline get involved. They start beating down Cody. There's no disqualification. The Rock gets involved, starts taking out Cody Rhodes. Then you end up with Kevin Owens coming out, Sami Zayn because of last year. You have maybe even LA Knight because everything he's done with the bloodline for the last couple of months. Maybe not. Jey Uso comes out though and helps out Cody Rhodes, former tag team partner, going up against his brother, the rest of his family. Jey being involved is almost necessary. But with the help of several superstars that make sense for the story, even Seth Rollins could be coming out too to try and help but get beaten down again. You could do all of that and then clear the path out so you end up with both a broken down, beaten Roman and Cody, and eventually you do need to see Cody Rhodes get the pin, the clean pin in the middle of the ring, no real shenanigans because everyone else is taken care of. And then I think you need that moment of The Rock looking at that final pinfall and Cody winning, so that it can set up the Roman Rock story for the next like 2 years. Because you could do this all the way to Mania 42 if they play their cards right. Cody needs to finish this story. Yes, I would love to see it in like Madison Square Garden and very like full circle. The arguments for it not needing to be at WrestleMania, but it is still the biggest show, and I would be concerned that fans would just grow tired of the story arc by not paying it off. Last year they didn't pay it off, and we all kind of hesitated. Now we see where we're at. The first half of the year, after the Royal Rumble, after WrestleMania last year, Cody not winning, bloodline story felt a little dull. It started to slow down and then it picked up, and now it's really picked up with The Rock. I think you do need to close that chapter here so Cody can go on and start having other feuds. And Roman's not going to be on TV like at all. He's going to do the major pay-per-views. And I think Roman's story arc now after WrestleMania will be kind of his redemption, and having giant evil corporate heel Rock with the bloodline and everybody else, because he runs and controls everything, taking down Roman Reigns. To me, that is the direction they will get to, which is Rock Roman. But if you keep with this awesome heel Rock, this persona, and how this story is going, The Rock can come out of WrestleMania being angry, frustrated, disappointed with Roman Reigns, because when they eventually do the next promos together, breaking it all down, Rock can sit there and say, I did everything. I led all of this. I was the one who won the tag team match with us. You didn't. You've been sitting in the background doing nothing, and it's all been The Rock. And The Rock has beaten Cody. The Rock has beaten Seth Rollins down. Like, The Rock can say he's done all the things he needs to do for Roman Reigns, where Roman was doing nothing. Basically, you end up turning Roman face, because that's the one thing we haven't seen is tribal chief version, current day Roman Reigns as a full-fledged babyface. And I think you need to get there, and the only way you can is by having this huge boss, final boss as he says it, of The Rock. And they can have their first encounter at WrestleMania 41, and you could have Rock, now we're predicting into Mania 41, everybody, but at 41 you have The Rock beat Roman. So Roman has eaten a loss at WrestleMania 40, another loss at WrestleMania 41, back-to-back gigantic losses where he was undefeated forever. And then you get Roman's giant redemption arc at like 42, where he finally beats The Rock. And for the final contract, or what years we have of Roman Reigns, you've solidified him as the giant babyface. You have Cody Rhodes as the other giant babyface who's there every week, and Roman is not, but you have giant superstars coming out of Mania 40. What do you think's gonna happen at Mania 40? The tag team match, the main event? Comment below, let me know, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.